All right, this is One Last Midnight. Welcome back to another episode of Settlement Survival. Settlement Survival released 1.0 2 days ago, and it's pretty good. I mean, I like it. I don't understand why they're not getting the hype of other builder games, and this year seems to be big on builder games. But it has a substantial research tree, and it also has a substantial line of production buildings that you can make all kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, they won't load up old saves, so I had to delete all my old saves, so I don't have my mega cities that I was playing with in early access. But I did start a game and play for about an hour or an hour and a half, a little bit more than that, and have a little city going. They did make a lot of UI changes, so there's a bunch of graphic changes to the UI and the way things are displayed. You know, all of their statistics and stuff like that. All the UI stuff is pretty much changed, and their icons and the background graphics and all that have all been upgraded. The being able to look at the structures, they have now added kind of like a little search and description area where you can see not only what it costs, but what they do and what they're going to look like. Then also the building stuff, this kind of background stuff has also changed. But I do like the fact that they've now highlighted. I don't remember if they did that before. I think they did it when you clicked on it before, not when you hovered over that particular icon, like homes, housing, and any other building that you might have down. I think that's pretty neat. That way you can easily identify where things are at. It doesn't seem to do it for the fields and stuff like that, but it does seem to do it for the other buildings. You can see in the upper top part where I have my hunter, and then also where I have my forager's log. Let's get that in there. And the gatherer's hut, you can see those all lighting up over there. So it helps you identify when you have multiples where those buildings are at. And I like that. I like that new addition and that new change. I think that, you know, these icons, they could probably get closer together and not force you to scroll. But at least they do break these down into categories or groups so that you can easily look in a particular group if you know where the item is, right? Like I said, a technology tree, of course, the graphics all change for the technology tree. But this game has a lot of different technology trees. I like the fact that their technology trees are broken out into like livability, science, trading, mining, all that kind of stuff. And then in each one, there are also several different, you know, specialties that you can go down and you can invest your technology points into, which is really nice. And of course, technology is easy early on, but later, as you start getting more and more technology points, the amount of points that you need to get up a technology level is pretty critical. So like within the first hour and a half, you'll have 9 or 10 technology points pretty easily. But then as you start playing, the technology points are going to come in a lot slower. So it's important to pick the things that you absolutely need in the beginning of the technology, like mining or coring or, you know, getting some sand going on. Also, agriculture is very important, that getting that nursery so that you can produce herbs for your hospitals and stuff, critical. And if you do those later in your technology training, you might run into problems where people are getting sick all the time, or you're having to wait a long period of time in order to unlock that technology. And of course, you get like these little, you know, the more you invest in a specific category like agriculture, you'll get proficiency levels. And you'll be getting some additional perks to that proficiency level, like in the case of agriculture, field yield is plus 10%, and then pasture yield is plus 10% as well. And then it goes up as well, right? You're going to find some defects, like there should be a space here. I think there was another defect where the save game or something like that is, if you go to look at it, something was still in like the Chinese language. It wasn't translated over to English. Otherwise, I think the gameplay is pretty solid. They've added a lot into the game just over time, like events that happen, just sporadic events that'll pop up and say, hey, do you want to do something? Like, I think there was an alpaca that was going through my town and said, hey, do you want the villagers to try to capture it? And of course, they didn't capture it. A couple got injured, which is these two guys, actually, that got injured. And I thought that was pretty neat. So there's like sporadic events that happen throughout the game. There's disasters that happen throughout the game. I even put down a disaster shelter so that when a disaster comes through, they'll be able to, you know, go into the shelter and hopefully survive whatever that disaster might be. And it's flooding, tornadoes, all kinds of stuff. As any other builder game, you know, your job is to build up into a giant town, and the towns get huge really fast. I wish, go back and look at my older videos and you'll see how big I had the town. They do have these, it's, what is it? Special item or blueprint items, right? So you have these like giant jack-o'-lantern thing, and this thing is an enormous jack-o'-lantern. A festival can be held once every 5 years. It gathers all the citizens, reduces their stress, giving them pumpkin treats, which I thought was really cool. And they have one of disaster occurs, and that's the shelter that I put down. You also unlock like being able to create a castle, and the castle is mammoth size. I think it holds like 80 civilians, and it takes an enormous amount of resources to wind up building that particular building, but it's spectacular when it's placed down. So it looks really, really cool. As for builder game wise, I really enjoyed it. I don't know why this game has not gotten the recognition as other builder games have. But I think they did a great job on the game. I enjoy it. The graphics look really good. Of course, you know, they celebrate all the holidays. And right now, they got the whole jack-o'-lantern thing going on for Halloween. And then they do something for the Christmas event. And then also they wind up doing like, because this is a Chinese developer, they wind up doing like Chinese events as well. Like they did a Lunar New Year one previous year. So I think they do, you know, all kinds of like little stuff in the game that are a lot of fun. And here's one of those events that happens. A bunch of drunkards were lighting a campfire and holding a party near the city. Unexpectedly, they started an argument. Oh, and I didn't have enough time to do the event, so the event wound up closing all by itself. And they can't, can I retrigger it? Okay, yeah. Tequila is a better choice. So we'll go with tequila. Some disapprove with your answer. Brought out loads of whiskey for them to appreciate. Traders, all of that good stuff. You know, they have all of that in the game. I love the way that they do like the livestock stuff, where if you've got a hunter in an area that happens to have creatures moving through it, there's a chance for them to pick up a baby one. They call it a cub, but they're not all cubs, right? So they have this chance to pick up a baby one, and then you can have that livestock in your town. And in the town details, you can see what you have for collections, animal-wise, blueprint-wise, and then also crops and stuff. They have really great graphs and reports so that you can look at what your production is or what your production limit is, and then also like what your consumption stuff is all about. All of those are like in statistics related areas where you can look at what you're producing and how much you're making and using, which is helpful in producing a large village. Of course, and then detailed information on your population, what they're doing, where they're working, so on and so forth. And if they're happy or not, and why they're not happy, right? These guys really aren't that happy because they don't have shoes, and their garments are going down. I need to start producing garments. They don't have any religion, entertainment's gone, proper burials gone, roads and paths, so on and so forth. And the health tier, same with more information on the health. And it tells you that, you know, your what percentage you're going to wind up seeing like major effects, right? You're going to start seeing more plagues and more disease and stuff like that's going to spring up. The game right now is currently $15. It's on sale until the end of the month. This is October 2022. If you guys are watching this video later, probably not going to be on sale, but $15 US or $16 US. I think you're going to get hours and hours out of the game. If you like builder games, you're going to have a good time with it. And so you guys should check it out. I will be doing a playthrough on this later. Right now, I'm currently playing Farthest Frontier, trying to do a playthrough on that. But then I will turn around and change and do a playthrough on this since it's complete. At any rate, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Would love to have you in the community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below. And make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.